All right. So this should be very fun. So I want to talk to you very quickly about my discipleship journey. Now, I rededicated my life back to God back in 2016. That journey led to me finding a new church home in which I received the baptism of the Holy Spirit after going on my first consecration for 21 days. That led to a couple of years of God just working with me. And then the Lord led me to a new ministry. And I ended up preaching my first sermon. But so many things occurred after me preaching my first sermon. All of these things happened all by the power of the Holy Spirit. But there was so much on the inside of me that was still broken. And I knew so much Bible, but I had very little experience with life, real life circumstances. It's one thing to know the Bible, but it's another thing to live the Bible, to actually become a walking epistle. And God knew that there were some things that I still needed, leaders that I needed, leaders of integrity. He knew I needed real life experience. He knew I needed to grow up. He knew I needed to find out some things about myself that were hidden, things that I was naive to, and things that I just needed to know for the future. And so I went through a process of where I would say the first thing that I do recall is before it was time for me to move forward in discipleship, God started to inform me that my process and my journey in ministry was not what I thought it was going to be. It was going to be completely different. So the first bold move I had to make was stepping out of religion and just following the voice of Christ as he led me outside of the church I grew up in. The next step was me just going from service to service to hear his voice. He would tell me what church to go to. After that, I was able to connect with my now apostle. Yes, I do have a covering. My covering does rebuke me and correct me and challenge me and help me grow. And I thank God for my leadership. And so God allowed me to pack my belongings for about a year before he ever told me where I was going. I ended up moving to the state of Illinois. I lived from couch to couch, from hotel to motel, from motel to homes, and just back and forth. But God was giving me time to grow in him. The Lord even allowed me to go back to college at 27 years old, earn my degree, but it really had nothing to do with me being in school. It had all to do with me learning and growing up at a faster pace. I went through many challenges, faced my own weaknesses, faced so many temptations. It was just like Jesus went to the wilderness. I had the same or similar experience to what Jesus experienced. And so in this short time that I've been discipled, there's been many ups and downs, but everything in me was tested. I lost a lot of loved ones because I had to walk away and I couldn't look back. I lost a lot of money because I had to follow and do things God's way and build from the ground up. And that means I had to walk away from some jobs that were pulling me away from the purity of my relationship with Christ. There was so many losses, and there was also a self-denial. So that means God addressed pride, gluttony, fear, every spirit you can think of. And by the way, that's called the spirit of addiction. It's those things in us that wanted to grab for the world. And it was all in me. But through time and through testing, God is showing me how to continuously walk in freedom, surrender, and full transparency by the grace of God. So that has been my journey of discipleship. I've been rebuked. I've been loved on. I've been humbled. I've been humiliated. I've been uplifted. But guess what? It's all for the glory of God so that He can push and propel me into the future. And so I just want to take a moment to thank God for Families in Focus Outreach Ministry right now in Illinois. But I thank God for Apostle and Dr. Francine Jones. And I really want to share with you how vital it is for you to understand discipleship. Because growing up in a religious background, we thought we knew God, but we really didn't know God. It is only until you are cultivated, just like Jesus spent time with the disciples and helped them to cultivate. You have to be cultivated and grow, and you become a walking epistle. And then you are responsible for going out and carrying out the gospel. And that is what Jesus calls a witness. So I just wanted to let you know that discipleship is vital for your Christian journey. And I just want you to know that it's so worth it. I lost everything, but one thing that I did gain is wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that this world can never take away from me. So I thank God for my foundation. I thank God for sparing my life and saving me and healing my mind. There's another part of discipleship that a lot of people don't like. You find out a lot of things about yourself, your weaknesses, your flaws. And it's very hard to hear constructive criticism. But if you really want to grow in God, and if you're called to leadership, it's really not an option for you. You need to grow, and you need to be corrected,